Welcome back to Couple Goals. We're here again with
Episode
another episode.
18.
18.
Season 2, 18.
Jeez, this year has just flown by. I honestly can't believe that it's nearly the end of November.
There's literally 6 weeks left until Christmas. Or 5. 5 and a bit. Let's go between that.
What did you ask Santa for this
You
year?
don't want to know. But I was on the nice list, so it's looking good for me. What'd you get? What'd you ask for?
I asked for a Gucci bag.
A Gucci bag.
I asked for
A Gucci bag. Of all the things in
3
the
bottles
world.
of champagne. New Golden Goose shoes. Do you think I'm on the naughty list or the nice list?
You haven't been that nice. Let's just say that. That's a lot of niceness going out there. Do you think you've been nice enough for all of that?
You know what I think I'm getting for Christmas? Sweet
Nada.
FA.
Sweet fuck all.
No, we're not doing presents
We're
this year.
flying. We'll be in transit.
Oh my gosh, I am.
So you'll probably
really
get a
excited.
nice aeroplane meal.
Yay!
Maybe they'll give you a dessert because it's
Ooh.
Christmas. Who knows?
It's taking all of my strength not to purchase anything at the Black Friday sales. Like, I keep getting these emails.
How
I keep
long's
getting
Black
targeted
Friday been a thing for?
I think a while, but it was more an American thing. But with the rise of social media,
We've
spread.
adopted it because I've never done one. And then when it popped up the other day, I was like, I'm sure I've got. No, actually, someone asked Emma if they could have the program that she's doing, and I was like, I've got like heaps of programs from back in the day for running programs, hybrid program or strength and conditioning, but it's now called hybrid because it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And strength programs, and I was like, I'm just going to whip together a Black Friday sale.
Awesome.
But then I started thinking, how long has it been around for? And
I feel like it's just getting bigger and bigger.
yeah, some of the discounts are insane.
Yeah. I think they're bigger than the Boxing Day sales now. Remember Boxing Day sales used to
Yeah.
be a thing? And,
But it makes you realize how much of a charge up businesses put on their products.
I know, but I think also they have to survive. You
Yeah.
know, especially if you've got a shop front. Like, how are you going to pay
Yeah.
your staff members? Are you going to pay the wages?
I don't know. I
Also-
feel like some of the multipliers are pretty juicy.
That's true too. I mean, we live in
Yeah,
crazy society.
inflated economies. But that's all good. We just went for a walk as well. We were trying to get some inspiration for today's episode.
Look, it's been a bit of a, I wouldn't say lazy week, but an uneventful week for us. We've just been sort of laying low. It was such a rainy day yesterday, so Emma and I cleaned up our wardrobes. Stay tuned because we might do a sale.
A Black
We
Friday
have so
sale.
many clothes, but they're also good clothes that we just like don't want to throw away. I mean, we'll definitely donate some, but there's some I feel like could go to a new home, and so we're going through the process of sorting all of that.
It's almost too much hassle to sell them, though. That's the problem. That's why it's easier to just give it away.
Yeah, I actually have a bunch of clothes that I intended on selling because they're designer clothes.
Yeah.
And then I ended up just giving them away because I was like, I just can't
Yeah.
give them away. Donate.
Get them out of our room, though.
My auntie also has a vintage shop. Shout out to Sassy Sue's. It's in Kalgoorlie, and so
Maybe
we
you
give
should
a lot
sell them to her.
Well, we just give them to her. She's our auntie. So
Yeah, but if she's profiting, you should profit. No, I'm kidding. But questions. You've got some questions there for us to go through.
yeah, we thought we'd do a little quick fire, rapid fire, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
questionnaire.
We are, for those who are watching on Patreon as well, you'll see that I'm diligently holding a little microphone. So we say this every week. Obviously, we're all sharing a house together at the moment, and it's not like our forever house, meaning we're not going to move things around and set things up permanently. So we're constantly fighting for space. And at the moment, Amy's probably sitting on George's laptop because he was making music last night. So rather than continuing, because one of my biggest pet peeves is setting up the podcast stuff, it's quite frustrating.
So ideal one day to have our own studio where
Like we
everything
did
is
in Kangaroo Point was but
it's
like
just
a proper,
always
yeah.
set up. There's always like a backdrop, and we can just sit.
Just
in the
makes it
chairs,
easy.
Like flick a switch, and off we go.
Yeah. So I just thought rather than setting that up, we'll use a lapel mic. We tested it. It sounded great.
It's a powerful little guy.
It is a powerful, and
It's not
look,
about the
we should
size,
probably
it's about how you use
how it handles it. That's right. And I should buy another one, and I probably will at some point. But for the moment, it's picking up both of our voices.
Black Friday sales. Grab one, nib one, nab one.
Just throwing money out the door. But no, so we were on a show also called Couple Goals. Not going to say that they stole our name, but they were established in 2024. We were established in 2022. So we'll let you guys decide who was first. Logic wins. But we thought this week we would ask each other some questions that will help us get to know each other a little bit more, but also help you guys get to know us a little bit more. I'm hoping they're not all serious. Are they all serious?
I haven't read them.
Okay, Amy hasn't read them, so there's no prep. This is straight off the cuff.
Juicy.
All right, so...
Are we going to take turns?
Yeah, we're going to go, you go, I go.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
What is a defining moment in your life that shaped who you are today, and how does it influence the way you approach our relationship?
Wow. Also, should we turn our caps backwards so people can see our lovely faces? I just thought that. So, a defining... Sorry, let me have a look. A defining moment...
What's a defining moment in your life that shaped who you are today, and how does it influence the way you approach our relationship?
A defining moment... I've got so many. Defined by so many. I think starting a business, especially in men's health, because it came off the back of me needing to sort my shit out. And as a result of that, now I get to work with other people going through different things, which constantly reminds me of what I've got to lose if I don't maintain the standards that I've built or the habits that I've built. So I think that's a defining moment. How it's helped me in the relationship. I see so many people going through divorces or even just relationship breakdown, and how it just destroys them. And so for me, it's made me, and I'm not perfect, but I try to not take you for granted regularly.
Oh, thanks. Really?
Peace.
Okay.
We're not going to ask each other the same questions either. So, what's something you've always wanted me to understand about you, but you've never been able to put into words?
It's a weird question.
That's a deep,
I feel like you understand me pretty
questions.
well. You're quite an emotionally intelligent person. I don't think you understand my innate desire to have to buy a piece of clothing every week. Just kidding.
Where does that come from? What do you feel the need
I don't do that,
to...
but I do feel the need
Why?
to buy it.
What are you trying to validate? What hole are you trying to fill?
I mean, ladies, I'm sure you can all corroborate this with me. Does that make sense?
Corroborate, or would it be...
Corroborate.
Anyway.
Or sympathise with me, because you just get... I think it's just like the marketing. You get targeted so many ads, social media, and just to wear something new is like the best feeling. But you feel like hot and like...
But do you not feel hot if you wear old clothes?
I do, but not as hot.
Why?
It's not a thrill. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
It's always just, you feel so good when you wear something new. I don't know what it is. It's just like a fresh look. You feel in style. You don't feel tired.
It's funny because when hearing you say that, I like to literally wear my stuff until it's got holes in it. I was literally saying to Amy the other day, like, most of my pairs of jocks have holes somewhere in them, and I've got a new set of 7 coming, which is exciting. But even like this, I can understand like when you put a new shirt on, but for me it's like, if I always needed to wear new clothes, one, I'd spend a lot of money, but I wouldn't get the use out of what I've purchased, and so therefore I just wear old shit.
It's a good way to be, and I'm trying
You're
very
doing
hard.
well.
I'm doing well, and there's always something to buy, you know? That's what I just tell myself when I want to go buy a piece, because I'm like, you know, you get caught up in the good deals, but I just think, you know what? Come Boxing Day, there's going to be something else to buy.
Well, I can appreciate it, like, if it makes you feel good, but there's got to be, like, a fine line between needing it and just, you know, treating yourself every now and then sort of thing. Because
It's just like Mexico. It's
yeah.
like this innate desire to buy a new wardrobe, like all new pieces to take. because I know that's what the other girls are going to do. That's what they're doing.
But who
So
are you
I
trying
don't
to
want to be
impress?
the only one in old clothes.
Who actually cares?
It's true.
Do you notice that the girls will sit around at drinks and go, "Oh my God, Amy, 2021." Yuck. Do you girls do that, or
No, but it's just like, oh yeah, I've seen that. It's not exciting.
I've never had a
wear something
dude.
new and all the girls compliment on it.
I'm sure they'll compliment you anyway. Do they not?
Probably.
I'm sure they
And
do.
I know, like, everyone who's going are really good friends and they don't care.
And I feel like I compliment you daily, whether you're
You
nude
do.
or you're in your pajamas or you're in your workout gear.
I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think about that. And also, like, it's just the society and that we've been brought up in.
Consumerism.
Consumerism, and I'm aware of it, but I can't help it. So, what are your tips to not buying new things? Actually, I saw a really cool thing on Instagram where these girls got together and they had a secret Santa, but they bought each other something that was pre-loved.
I like that. That's
So
good.
they all went to like op shops and bought something like cool glasses. Or,
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think about it a lot. I just think everyone focuses so much on stuff that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of it. Like, I've lost 2 friends this week, and I think like no one, like, in a week's time, people are going to have moved on. So like when people stress about their outfits or their whatever, who gives a shit? Like, for me, it's like, I think people's career matters because most people are like, for example, for you and Shepherd, it's like your music will live on longer than you guys will, but it also impacts people's lives. And I think I would like to think my work does. So I feel like that is a meaningful commitment. But then when people stress about what food they're going to eat or how they look or how they want to be seen, for me, it's like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's small
And
picture stuff.
people literally have anxiety and,
feel like
and depression because of it.
I actually don't care as much as a lot of people do.
Well, the cat
Like, look
back
at me
right
now.
now.
Like, there would be a lot of people who would probably do full hair and makeup for an episode like this. Right? And I just don't give a shit because I know that my listeners are here not for how I look.
And you're already married.
So I do think that I'm well balanced in that sense. But I'm just like any other girl. I can't fight the urge.
You got the emotions.
Yeah, and they know how to. You know, I feel like it's like a casino. They know how to tap into your emotions and make you buy and make you want to buy.
There's a great book called The Psychology of Persuasion. Read it.
Okay.
Anyone who's interested, read it. And you just read it and you're like, that's happening to me right now. All right, what do we got?
Okay. If you could relive one day from our time together, which
Ooh.
day would it be and why does it stand out to you?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. I would love to say our wedding day. Like, that's obviously the obvious choice. And most of those days around that because it was just like stress-free. I didn't think about work. You weren't thinking about work. It was just purely...
All our loved ones around.
Yeah, I think like you could relive any of those days. But if I was going to choose something different, I liked when we went to Europe together, like in 2019, and we caught up with like Izzy, and that's not one day, but I feel like I think that was one of our first like we'd been on holidays together, but we're always with people, so that was like our first holiday where it was just you and I, and we got to catch up with some of your friends, some of my friends, and like that whole time was just gnarly. I really liked that.
Amazing.
And I saw you snowboarding, which
That's terrible.
which was one for the memory. That was
Just,
one for the memory.
knocked my old noggin. Lucky I'm still alive after
I
that.
know. Don't want to hit your head too hard there. What's a moment in our relationship where you felt most loved and understood, and what made it special?
Probably just like surviving those early days when we were Shepherd were touring a lot and we were going through a long distance relationship, and I thought for sure that we were going to break up because I just didn't know how I would hold down a relationship with my crazy schedule, and you understood and you stuck around.
Wild.
I think, yeah.
You can expand on it if you want.
No, I think was that answer the question?
Definitely did, for sure. Well, we'll let the audience decide. You can
Yeah, and I
message
feel
us.
like it was amazing how you started a business so you could join me more. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I just have never felt more understood than that. Like somebody wanted to change their lives and change their whole career so that you could, be a part of my life.
Yeah. Wild strawberries. You got me number 3.
What's a personal goal you're currently working on that you've never shared with me?
Wow. You got all the good ones. Well, it's probably always finances. Like, I would love to just have money as no issue again. Like, I feel like moving overseas has taken that away from me.
Yeah, it's definitely
in
been
a sense. So I think in like
we're okay. We still have a roof over our heads, enough to eat, enough to pay rent, but it's like we used to have excess cash, disposable cash.
yeah, like
so to
if
speak.
we needed a weekend away or whatever, it's like you don't think about it. Whereas now we have to think about it, and I find really hard as like my role. I like the idea of it being able to provide and not have you stress about that, but because we're in a weird position where it's like I don't want to work too much here in Australia because I know we're about to leave again in 5 weeks. So it's really hard to sort of set your roots, and then also, it's a bit murky. So there's like uncertainty around that is probably the goal that I'm working on solving. That I don't necessarily, you probably already know, but I don't need to talk about a lot. All right. If you could describe your ideal vision of us 10 years from now, what does it look like?
10 years from now.
So 2034.
I'd like to think we'd probably finally have
We're going to be 43.
Oh, it's so scary. Okay, we'll definitely have some kitties by then, I hope. And then we'll hopefully ideally own a couple of properties, like maybe 1 or 2, like one on the coast.
We already own one.
We already own one in Toowoomba, so there's 2. Let's say a base in the US, whether that's shared with the other siblings. And I think that'd be awesome if we could still travel around the world. I don't think we're going to have a conventional life where, our kids are going to go to regular school. I feel like they might have to be homeschooled. But hopefully by then we're selling we're playing to big crowds around the world, not just Australia. I think we're going to by then build up our US audience. And so we'll be definitely living
maybe
a more
even
comfortable
European.
life. Oh, yeah.
You just announced a European tour. We'll hit on that at the end.
Yeah, very excited for that.
But yeah, just plug that quickly in case we do forget. My turn. Number 4. What's one thing... Hold on, did I ask that? I asked that. Sorry, it's your turn. Sorry, Number 4.
Number 4. What's a quirk or habit of mine that you've grown to love?
Oh.
Even if it annoyed you at first.
It didn't annoy me, but I think I mentioned this on last week's. Just when you do your random stupid dances, you were literally doing one in the mirror before. When you put your tights on and your cap on and you were doing some fucking weird dance. And it's so funny. But also you're just like, in the beginning I was like, is she all there? Like, no, I'm kidding.
Sorry to try and make you laugh. God.
But there you go. No, she did it before. I'll try and film some for you guys and we'll put them up because they're always happening. Must be my turn. Yeah, what's one thing you've learned about yourself through being in this relationship that surprised you?
I think you definitely push me outside the boundaries. If I'm thinking about doing a country song, you will push me to like fully dive into the country music industry. Like this podcast, for example, it was just like a little idea that we were talking about, but you actually like put it into action, because I think a lot of times in my life things can get in the way. I get very busy, and so to actually implement actionable steps can be difficult for me sometimes. So I think that you definitely push me to be better in that respect.
I'll take that. You guys heard it here.
Am I asking you?
Yeah, you're on.
If you had to sum up what I bring to your life in one sentence, what would you say?
Happiness.
Oh.
That's one word, but that's it.
That's so cute.
This will be the last question. We don't need to go to 6 each.
Okay.
I want to hear your pet peeve, your Reddit story. If you could go back to the first year of our relationship, what advice would you give us as a couple? Now, this is cool. And just for context, for anyone who's listening to this for the first time or doesn't really know Amy and I, within the first year, Amy was traveling the world. I was living in a town called Toowoomba. So we had a lot of distance. So our, or whatever Amy's about to say, might be a little bit different to what you would say to I don't want to say normal relationship, but like one where there's not a lot of travel involved.
I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those situations where you like, if you changed anything, we'd have a different relationship and it might not be a good one. So I don't know if I would change anything. I would just say, if I could go back, I'd just say, it's all going to work out. Don't stress the small stuff. Because I think, like every relationship in the beginning, we definitely had our little fights and moments, but you need those to like learn about each other and learn boundaries, right?
Yeah, and no one's perfect. All right,
time for the Reddit story.
If you have questions for next week, if you liked that, wowee, have a crack next week. Drop us some questions. I do enjoy doing that.
Yeah,
it's interesting to think. But let's go to your Reddit.
Okay, my Reddit story. Dun, dun, dun. My best friend kissed my husband. It's destroying me. How do I proceed? I have been with my husband for 6 years, married for 4 years, and we have 2 kids. Everything in our relationship is perfect for us. He's the best husband and father to our kids that I could have asked for. I'm absolutely in love with him, and his actions and words have always shown me that he feels the same way. There's no better feeling than going to sleep in his arms every night. Last weekend, my husband and I had some friends over and we were having a barbecue. We were all outside in the backyard surrounding my husband, who was on the grill. As the food got closer to being ready to eat, we all started sitting at our backyard table. Once the food was all ready at the table, my husband went inside to use the washroom and get another case of beer. I didn't realize that my best friend had followed him. When he was coming back out, my best friend hid behind the wall separating our kitchen and living room and surprised him by pulling him and forcing a kiss. My husband immediately pushed her back and yelled, "What the fuck?" She immediately started crying and ran out of the house and left. My husband came back into the yard and asked to speak to me privately and immediately told me what had just happened. I was shocked and told him that would it be okay that we talked about it after everyone had left. I managed to put in an appearance for the next couple of hours, but I was mentally distraught. After everyone left, my husband sat me down and told me what happened and showed me the footage from our living room camera. It was exactly as my husband had described it.
Wow.
My best friend of 10 years, the person who I treated as my literal sister, forcibly kissed my husband. After the third date with my husband, she was the one I told I was going to marry him. She knows how much I love him and how strong our relationship is, and she still chose to come into the middle of it. For F's sake, our 3-year-old calls her auntie. My best friend tried showing up the next day just to talk, and my husband had to hold me back from beating the shit out of her. And he kicked her out and told her not to come back. It's been almost a week now. I'm nowhere close on moving on. I don't blame my husband. He's completely innocent in this, and if anything, he's the victim. I've been lying down on my husband's chest and just crying every night. I'm so angry and frustrated. I don't know what to do. My husband has been amazing, like always. He just gets it and understands how I'm feeling. He bought me flowers, blah, 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 blah.
Well, firstly, when she's like, it's almost like he is the victim. If you flip that around and a bloke did that to a female, would assault. Be a very, very different story. It's like a
sexual assault.
It is,
right?
Yeah. So...
But my question is, like, was he giving her signals and then she just decided to act on those signals?
You'd want to be given some pretty strong signals.
I don't know. Like, I'm not privy to that information, but that's pretty random for someone just to go out of the blue and kiss someone like that.
Yeah, but she might have been drunk. She might have been building the story up in her head.
I know, but you just don't get that from nowhere, but anyway.
I don't know, like... If he had been flirting with her, it would have been very easy for him to roll with that.
True.
Like, very easy.
But knowing there was a camera there, maybe he was like, fuck, I need to go with the story.
But okay, so think about it like this. An instant response if you had been flirting with someone wouldn't be to push them away. And if his instant response, as shown on camera, was to push her away, I feel like he would have been just as shocked.
Would you hear what the friend has to say, or would you just cut her off?
For sure. Well, yeah, for sure. If like, you'd probably have a few questions, but it doesn't change the fact that what she did
was wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be maintaining that friendship. She'd be gone.
Either way, she gone.
She gone. Hussy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in again this week. Remember, head over to our Instagram, ask us a few questions, and share some of the reels and snippets. It helps the show grow. And what do we got coming up? We got an interesting week. I've got a very deload week. So I've got 8 weeks until I run around America, which is not that far away.
Are you getting nervous or are you excited?
I'm excited. Like, I feel very ready. Yesterday I ran 40 kilometers super comfortably, like feel great today. So I just want to start to get it going now. It's like 8 weeks is just like
limbo.
Got to remain injury free and record as many podcast episodes before we go.
Right, I better feed you something, huh?
But yeah, let's go get a pizza.
All right, thanks everybody. And if you want to get first access to podcasts, don't forget to sign up to Patreon. It's patreon.com/Amy Shepherd Pie. We'd love to see you over there. And thank you to all of my current Patreon members. Love you guys. You help us to continue to do what we do.
Exactly. And one day we are going to get a studio. And that day I feel like we almost have to have a live party.
Yeah.
Like a virtual live party.
That'd be awesome.
We're going to have to. Like, that's on the vision board. But as always, there is no as always. Hooroo!